Ebet, Ikro, Ido.
Untitled Chapter with the HalcyonMasters. And welcome to our video on the Churn. The underlying source of conflict and power in the world of Vainglory can be attributed to the Halcyon and the Churn. In our last video, we explored the power of the Halcyon and its influence on people, culture, and civilizations. Now, let's turn our attention to the Churn. Intro. The Churn is a mystery wrapped in enigma drizzled with conundrum. It is a destructive force which at the same time creates new life. It can weaken one's body or grant great strength. The Churn will whisper terrible thoughts or profound truths. The last part is the most interesting because there is evidence the Churn is sentient with almost cosmic awareness. Chainsaw, one of the SEMC developers, stated, "Sometimes the Churn itself comes to life," supporting that this wild energy has a consciousness. Before we dive too deep down that rabbit hole, let's first talk about its impact on the globe. The world of Vainglory is described as a planet devastated by the Churn. Only pockets of calm exist where many of our heroes originate. Looking at Walker's map of the known world, you can see these pockets of calm in the surrounding areas infected by the Churn. These Churn-infested areas are home to wild jungles and ferocious beasts. The plants and animals living in these areas are bigger, faster, stronger, and significantly more dangerous than their counterparts in the calm. Walker's first expedition was into a desolate volcano. The deeper he explored, the more life he discovered. Near the heart, and closest to the Churn, Walker witnessed enormous scorpions and a flower which seconds after being plucked from the ground.
"Listen, Walker, put me back in the ground and everything will be okay. Got it? Thanks."
Regrew its roots and planted itself back in the volcanic soil. Far away and many years later, Idris and his people were driven from the glass city when Churn beasts and a wild jungle emerged from the fabled well. Fortress experienced a similar occurrence in the temple as dangerous vines and reptiles battled his pack. In all three accounts, the Churn has created life, albeit life that made ruin to the surrounding area and was set out to kill any and all its way, but life nonetheless. The Elder Dragon in Seraphim Adagio's lore summarized the phenomena well when she said, "It'll burst from underground and destroy all, and from the rubble new beginnings will rise to dominate the world." New evils are rising from the wells of power and threatening the known world. Unlike in the past, the people and creature of the calm have a chance to fight back. Turning back to the Churn, it can present itself as a noxious green gas. In the boiling bay of the Tisan Gate, residents rely on masks to keep from choking on the fumes. The animals, like the Churn cranes, are physically changed from exposure. Phinn recalls his own account of the Churn. As a young fisher troll, the Churn bubbled up from underwater. It caused him to turn pale and lose his senses. The Churn enslaved him, twisting his thoughts and making him one with its desires. With thoughts of hatred, Phinn turned into a formidable soldier for the one he called the Tyrant, which is the embodiment of the Churn. Idris had a similar encounter during his mission to the Glass City. At first, the noxious gas burned his throat, but once he accepted the poison into his lungs, he could sense its hold on him growing. The Churn called out, enticing him to be one with it. His duty and love for his people, along with Adagio's words, "What the Churn does not kill, it swallows," anchored him to the calm. The hero who has truly been swallowed by the Churn is Martine Walker. We'll go into detail about his account of the Churn in his lore video, but the key points to take away are that he can speak to the Churn and those connected to it, reinforcing the fact that the Churn is alive. Another interesting observation is his ability to trespass. Walker can almost instantaneously travel across Churn-infected lands. Therefore, the Churn is not a local event, but an interconnected force. We've established the Churn is dangerous, spreading and out to destroy the world as we know it today. But what can be done to stop it? Adagio may have the longest history with the Churn, both due to his age and in his attempts to slow its spread. Following the 1,000-year war between the Elder Dragon and the Seraphim, Adagio and his siblings oversaw the building of the Wells of Power. By digging deep into the ground, they attempted to slow the flow of energy, thus regulating the flow of the churn. Adagio, while supremely confident, is not so confident in their ability to hold back the churn. He's seen the natural cycle of destruction, yet hopeful that someone can get a head start against their apocalypse. He once tasked Rana and Aya, two talented engineers, to design a safeguard. However, they ultimately succumbed to greed and to the churn itself, but not before writing the Book of Mechanical Devices. Idris, during his mission, recovers the book, but needs the help of the rest of the world to build the devices outlined in the text.
If this thing starts smoking, stand back.
This explores the possibility that technology can combat the churn. Interesting enough, Jules Mech, manufactured by ChurnGuard Industries, while Baron's suit can detect churn levels.
The churn levels here are off the charts.
It appears they are building the arsenal to fight back. One of the biggest fights on record is every Instalocker's favorite hero versus the Leviathan. The massive churn beast emerged from under the ocean and made its way to a heavily populated city. Saw picked the biggest, baddest gun he could find, named it Gracie, and then was swallowed whole by the beast. Saw did exactly what Saw does best, and that is fire, and fire, and fire, fire, fire until the shells had been deposited into the belly of the beast. Chalk this battle up to the guy with the big gun, but the war is far from over. The churn is moving its pieces onto the battlefield, while our heroes, whether they know it or not, face their biggest challenge yet. Before we sign off, let me remind you that whatever the churn does not kill, it swallows. Help the story continue by using that little piece of technology called the subscribe and the like button. If all else fails, we can always grab an orange and ask Lorelei for a dragon egg.